I think what's always amazing to me when you start talking about these waiver wire gems, and obviously we talked about the fantasy footprint last week. You're trying to develop that footprint to get tighter as you go through to the playoffs. But when you talk about a guy like Ty Montgomery, what's so funny now is how everyone's starting to figure out how to classify him. Is he a running back, receiver? Oh, ESPN says this. Yahoo's going to deem him this. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful that this could shake up the community that way. I wrote an article about this guy last year. I've known about him for a long time. Big Stanford fan of his. And so if you got him, you're in for a nice PPR run as we go to the playoffs. I think he's one of my favorite gems of the year. I think if you got him, good for you. James White, he ran a pretty good week last week. I liked him. And then I've had Vernon Davis for 2 weeks, although I'm going to stop recommending him. I think it's time to move on with Vernon as they go over to the pond in London. I don't see any production there. Hopefully that was a good fill-in for you. But as we talk about gold is the standard now, right? Obviously, this country got rid of the golden standard, but I'm trying to keep it alive in the fantasy community because you want guys that are going to hold their value and then obviously improve or stay the course through the playoffs. And so here's a few guys I'm recommending right now. Obviously, Quiz is the obvious guy. Why am I talking about Peyton Barber? Because I know Doug Martin's coming back, but I just get the feeling that it'd be nice to have a guy like Peyton Barber on your bench, assuming you have the room, just in case. Rob Kelly, I can't predict what's going on in Washington with all those running backs. We already told you to get Chris Thompson. I think he is my favorite of the three, but there's still Matt Jones. There's still fumbles, whatever. Rob Kelly, if you need him, that's another deep stash. Wide receiver, I really like Corey Brown. I really like what the Panthers are going to be doing with him soon. If you recall last year, he was the home run hitter, so that's why I'm recommending him for Week 8. I see some home run balls in his grasp. I like Justin Hunter a lot on the Bills. I'm sure you already knew about that one. And then Russell Shepard, that's kind of old news, but there's my Week 8 wide receivers. That's what I'm talking about. And then Ladarius Green is practicing, so I will advise him. I like what would happen here if the Steelers get him in the loop. And there you have it. My defense is Cincy. I don't like what Washington's going to face this week over the pond in London. It's just a wacky thing whenever you go over there. You saw what happened to the Rams. They got eaten alive in London last week. So there you have it. If you're curious about my team, I'm not doing great. I'm hanging in there. I'm like 500, but this team is plagued with injuries, and so I got a lot of work to do. But this is a dynasty league, so I'm just trying to build, asset by asset. Build the building blocks 1 week at a time, and you should too, because you want to get this footprint really solid as you go into the playoffs so you can beat all your buddies and take all their money. All right, Johnny B, UpsideDownDrafting.com. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next show, and be good out there, guys. Okay.